This week's whistle is the Sopranino G by Generation. I was originally going to treat the brass version and the nickel-plated version individually with their own videos, but I decided to put them together in one because the little G whistle is so hard to play, I just can't bring myself to do it twice. For most of the video I am using the nickel-plated version that was sent to me by Dylan Lewis of Lexington, Texas. Dylan has contributed a couple of other whistles to the cause, which will show up later in the series. And then my brass version I bought a couple of years ago. They're so small and the fingering is so tight that they're really for someone with smaller hands than I have. And so if you may have noticed from the tunes that I play at the beginning of every one of these videos, I had to slow them down quite a bit, and I still missed some notes and things because sometimes my fingers, when I'm coming down on, say, this hole, my finger bleeds over and half holes the next hole because it's just such a small little area. I will go ahead and say that I'm not particularly happy with either of these whistles aside from the fingering. I think they both have had maybe some quality issues. They both are a little rough around the edges in terms of tone. I have done the good old Blue Tack and the Winway tweak and retuned them a little. I consider them fairly equal. I will say that I still do hear the difference between the nickel-plated body and the bare brass body. I'll attempt to demonstrate that. Hopefully you can hear the difference, although a lot of people say that they can't hear the difference anyway. Either you hear it or you don't. The pros to these whistles are that they are good for harmonizing, playing slow passages to accompany another whistle or an ensemble, and you can do so very nicely in the key of G. That's about as far as I can go with it. I don't think they're particularly great sounding even for Generations. I think they're very shrill and they're very difficult to get the breathing right, difficult to do the fingering if you have hands that are larger than a child's, and even difficult to hold at this size. They're a fantastic novelty, and I would like to see some version of a Sopranino G that is more playable, more accessible than this. I think I've exhausted the pros and cons that I can really talk about with these whistles. I hope you had a chance to hear and sort of gauge for yourself what you think of them. Is it a beginner whistle? No, not remotely. I don't think it's a beginner whistle, a pro whistle. It doesn't even really count as a toy whistle. It is kind of a niche item that I keep around more for novelty and for the occasional use in a harmony that I might be recording. It's not a practice whistle. It's not a performance whistle. It's not really anything for any other purpose than that. They are cute. I want to love it. I love the idea of it. I have a Sopranino F Yamaha recorder that actually is a little easier to play. I also have the Generation in F that is just enough bigger that it sounds better and is more playable. Thanks for watching. Look forward to seeing you again next week when we play something entirely different.